Hello, everyone. I'm Sign1News anchor Martha Anger. Here is a quick look at the top trending stories making headlines today. If you post an interesting comment about this update, we may add it at the bottom of the screen. The number of confirmed deaths in Hawaii now stands at 96. And that number is expected to keep rising. It is the deadliest wildfire in the United States in more than a century, leaving behind nothing but ash and devastation. Hawaii's governor suspects the estimated damage could approach $6 billion. And now there are new questions emerging over why not one of Hawaii's warning sirens were activated. The raging infernos caught thousands of people off guard. Also, the main electric provider in the state, Hawaiian Electric Industries, is facing a lawsuit in connection to the deadly wildfires. According to the lawsuit, HEI is to blame because it failed to shut down power lines during Hurricane Dora. It alleges the electrified power lines caused the wildfire, but it did not specify how exactly the fire was ignited. Hawaii officials say they will do a full review of the situation to determine what caused the fire. A man in Georgia named Russell Jimerson was shocked to learn he had picked up a hitchhiker who was later arrested for murder. And even more shocking, authorities in Rabun County say the head of the murder victim was in the hitchhiker's backpack the entire time. The two mugshots seen here are of 23-year-old Keegan Phillips and 62-year-old Robert Lee Peppers. Jimerson says he saw Phillips hitchhiking and decided to help. Jimerson says Phillips had a backpack with him and it, quote, absolutely reeked. After dropping Phillips off a short time later, Jimerson learned he had just given a ride to an alleged killer. Authorities received a tip that led them to a body in the Chattahoochee-Oconee National Forest. Phillips has been charged with murder. Investigators say Peppers is charged with concealing a death and unlawful disposal of a body. Authorities in Florida say 61-year-old Osvaldo Sanchez is in custody, accused of posing as a veterinarian and performing surgery on a pregnant dog that later died from multiple complications. The sheriff's office said the 6-year-old Chihuahua was having difficulty delivering her puppies. The dog's name was Sugar. Sugar's owners contacted Sanchez, who had previously introduced himself as a veterinarian. Authorities say Sanchez performed a C-section and spay procedure, removed a stillborn puppy, and charged Sugar's owners $600. But after the surgery, Sugar got an infection and became ill. The owners took Sugar to an emergency pet care facility. The staff noticed that the incision from the operation was closed with string or thread and not standard operating materials. That's when detectives later discovered Sanchez was not a licensed veterinarian. He was simply a licensed pet groomer. A vet at the emergency clinic said C-sections are common for dogs, and Sugar likely would have survived if a qualified vet had performed the procedure. Sanchez was charged with animal abuse and practicing veterinary medicine without a license. A fighter jet crashed during an air show in Michigan on Sunday, and it was all caught on camera. Witnesses say they heard huge booms coming from the jet. Then images of the two pilots ejecting and deploying their parachutes. Then they say the plane dropped out of the sky like a bullet. Moments later, a gigantic cloud of black smoke rises in the distance. Authorities say the plane crashed on unoccupied cars in an apartment complex about 30 miles west of Detroit. Miraculously, no one on the ground was hurt, and the pilots sustained minor injuries. The Federal Aviation Administration and the National Transportation Safety Board are now investigating what happened. States across the country are bracing for a possible trifecta of respiratory viruses this fall: COVID-19, the flu, and RSV. On the national level, the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention is preparing for the triple threat by preparing Americans for what to expect, helping you understand the risk for illness in your community, and providing information on how you can protect yourself. Major pharmacy chains have already started rolling out appointments for flu and RSV vaccines. An updated COVID-19 booster could be ready by the end of next month. The message from health officials: get your vaccines early. There may be some good news in Hollywood. The Writers Guild of America has received a counterproposal from the major Hollywood studios. It says it's now evaluating that offer and expects to have a response this week. It comes after both sides recently returned to the negotiating table, working to end a strike that has lasted over 100 days. Late-night television shows haven't aired new episodes since May. And now the strike will push back fall television premieres. Both sides still remain far apart on key issues, including pay, residuals, mandatory staffing, and other employment concerns. Since new movies are not being made now, why not enjoy an old classic? Starting August 25th, the 3D version of the blockbuster adventure movie Jurassic Park is returning to the big screen. The iconic dinosaur thriller is celebrating its 30th anniversary. Wow, can you believe it's been 30 years since the first Jurassic Park film debuted? But movie lovers say it is a timeless classic. The original movie was an adaptation of Michael Crichton's novel, directed by Steven Spielberg. And it's believed the re-release will thrill audiences just as much today as it did 30 years ago. And that's it for today. Sign1News will be broadcasting updates Monday through Friday. A big thank you to our Sign1News app supporters who help make this broadcast happen. You can download the Sign1News app by heading to the App Store or Google Play Store on your smartphone. And you can also watch on Apple TV, Amazon, and Roku.